Hey, hello everybody. This is Miss Vihil, Vigil, your International Women's Empowerment Business and Professional Development Coach. So it is Fabulous Friday, and we are bringing back one of the programs that we used to do quite consistently. And I thought it was time. I thought it was time to bring it back this morning because there was a couple of different reasons. And primarily, one of the big reasons really was I had quite an interesting experience on the drive-in this morning. So that's going to be our topic of discussion for today. So Free Coaching Fridays is something that we have developed over the course of the last 5 years, where we jump on. It's like a podcast. We talk to you about all things professional development, business issues, family issues, life issues, personal issues, social issues. And I thought it would be a really great day to start this. I had been kind of bouncing this around for a little while, wanting to bring back the conversation. And so what I would love for you to do, if you're catching me live, if you're catching this fabulously Free Coaching Friday with Miss Vihil Vigil, I want you to put hello in the comments. Let me know that you're here. Give me a hashtag replay if you are catching this after 11:30 a.m. Mountain Time, 10:30 a.m. Pacific, and let me know some of the things that you would like to talk about, some of the things that you would like for me to discuss with you, so that we can keep it interesting, we can keep it fun and lighthearted, really. So basically the structure is this. We're going to have introductions, we are going to address a topic, and then we are going to dive into suggestions, coaching, what would I do, what would other experts do. So it's going to be somewhat like our International Women in Business Masterminds, however, way less structured, more like a podcast, more like a radio show, but with video. So that's always fun. So today's topic I wanted to talk about on this March 17th, fabulously Free Coaching Friday. And it is, what do you do when you encounter just a really rude person? What do you do? So I don't encounter this very often. I don't encounter very rude people very often. I just don't. I don't put myself in situations where I come across a lot of rude people. Maybe I'm just surrounded by awesomely fabulous people all the time. I don't know. But the point is, this morning, as I was driving to the office, I'd taken my little girl to work. I dropped off her at school, and I was on my way to the office. And you come to a four-way stop, right? So we're at a four-way stop, and there, everyone stops, and then they go, and like it's going as it should. You go, I go, you go, I go, etc. And it was my turn to go, and there was a lady in the turning lane. So in my experience, and I'm referencing driver's handbooks on this, is that the person turning should yield to the person going forward, right? So that's basically what happened. I yield to people all the time, especially when dropping off my daughter at school. We're all busy parents. We're all doing things. We're trying to get our little ones off to school. So, we do this at the school all the time where, you go, I go, you go, I go. And it's like, a massive amount of people dropping off their kids, getting out of the schoolyard, and it works very well. We've all gotten to this groove, happens, every single day, and it works wonderfully. We've all gotten it down. So I'm at the stop sign, and the lady in front of me who's facing me has her turning signal on and is going to turn in front of me to go left, her left, and I am going forward. So the folks to the left and to the right of me, they go, and then it was my turn, so I go. And I didn't yield to her because I thought, she's turning. She's not going with the normal right of way, so she yields to me. So I go. Oh my gosh. This lady totally freaked out. She honked her horns a whole bunch of times. She was waving her hands all up in the air. I'm sure she was cussing at me, and I just kind of waved and kept going. And then once I got to the office, I was all frazzled because, I don't get a lot of confrontation in a very negative manner. That happens too often. And so I get to the office and I'm like, what was going on? I'm totally frazzled. So the coaching part of this conversation is this. How do you get back to being your awesome self when you have just been totally frazzled by someone? So of course, instantly what I do is I get online and I start Googling, I start getting on the Department of Motor Vehicles website. Was I in the wrong? Should I have yielded to this lady turning in front of me? We got there at the same time. I might have even have gotten there before her. I don't know. There was lines on both sides. So should I have, yielded? So I want to know your opinion. Should I have yielded in this situation? So the message is, how do you recover from someone being super rude to you, whether it was your fault or not? Someone being super rude to you, going really out of their way and, blaring their horn at you and flipping you off and cussing you out and waving their hands all up in the air in their vehicle, with a direct point to let you know they are not happy with you. How do you recover? So this is my thoughts. This is what I do. So when I got back to the office and I looked up, who's got the right of way? This lady was cussing and screaming and honking at me. And was I in the wrong? If I was in the wrong, I will own it. I will change my behavior. I will make sure to let the folks turn in front of me if they're supposed to. And everywhere I looked, I was not in the wrong. I was in the right. She should have yielded because I was not turning in front of a whole bunch of people. Anyway, so of course I did my due diligence and I looked up, was I wrong? Whether I was wrong or whether I was right, the point is this. When you are totally frazzled and someone just knocks you off your game, knocks you off your path, what do you do to recover? So what I like to do to recover is I just have to meditate on this for a minute. And I do things like this. I had a great opportunity to share this experience with you here on Fabulously Free Coaching Friday so that I can put this out into the world. I cannot let it sit with me and fester, right? You don't want to let anything sit with you and fester and really bug you and bother you all day. So get it out, write it down, put it somewhere. I spoke about this at the Power Luncheon that we just had because I donated a couple of my paintings. And the reason why I have done so many paintings is to get negative things out of my brain. So I don't keep thinking about a situation. What I do is I give it a place to live, either in my journal or I put it on a canvas or I write it, somewhere, put it somewhere else. So it doesn't have to sit in your head. It doesn't have to sit in your head where you're going to constantly think about it. So for this situation, what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk to you about it. I'm going to share this experience on Fabulously Free Coaching Friday and talk about how things will come your way that are going to frazzle you. And do you lean in to the frazzling? Do you allow it to get you all flustered and thrown off your course and let it ruin your day? Or are you able to take this experience and say, wow, that was an experience. That is an experience that I don't want to have to go through again, but I did go through it this morning. So I'm going to take this moment and I'm going to pause and I'm going to be extra nice to people today because clearly that lady who got very upset that I didn't give her, that I didn't yield to her, was probably having a really bad day. It probably had nothing to do with me. I probably was the cherry on the top. Her day was already so frazzled for her that when I came into the mix, it was just like the cherry on the top and it just kind of made her burst. So let's pause and not allow opportunities to make us lose our cool, to make us lose our professionalism, our sense of humanity, our sense of goodwill. When things happen that are out of our control, because they will always happen, things out of our control will always happen. It's not about us. And we don't necessarily need to make it about us. Thank you, Joe Welch, for also mentioning that to me. Because I was feeling during the course of the marketing for the Power Luncheon, there were certain women that I was reaching out to in particular that were in the Sacramento region. And I really felt they would be great to be involved with the Power Luncheon program. And I was just ghosted didn't respond to me. I tagged them. I sent them individual messages. I sent them emails. A couple of them got text messages from me, and they just zero response. I was totally ghosted. And I was so distraught over this. My feelings were hurt. I was like, wow, I don't know what to do. Like, do I even continue to engage with these women? And I felt like they were, women, women that I admire and that I thought we had the level of friendship or, camaraderie that they would respond if I were to reach out. And they didn't. And awesome Joe Welch, business partner, colleague, and one of our speakers at the Power Luncheon had a conversation with me about it because I was bothered, and I told her about it. And she said, you know what? It's probably not even about you. Probably not even about you. Maybe it was, but probably it wasn't. These women are also as busy as you are. They have a lot going on in their lives. Maybe they were just on path to accomplishing something that was just very consuming. And maybe they meant to get back to you, but they didn't. But it's not something that you can carry around with yourself all day. It's not something that you need to let eat at you and ruin your own sense of self-worth, your own sense of a desire to reach for success, to reach forward and keep moving in progress, to continue with your happy self. Sometimes when you encounter someone who is in just a really bad mood or they totally ghost you, it's not really about you. Sometimes it might be. So maybe just take a look at your own behavior. Are you coming across in a way that is off-putting? Did you do something that may have affected that relationship? Like maybe that lady really felt I was supposed to yield to her and I didn't. So what do? We take pause and we send these people well wishes. This is what I want to say. Send these people well wishes who may have just been being rubbed the wrong way all day. And you happen to come across their path and you were the one that they exploded on. Send them love and well wishes for a better day. So what I want to do is just say this, that when you encounter situations like this, where you are totally off-put by someone else's behavior, what do? Take pause to acknowledge that they might be in a difficult situation. It might not be anything, it might not have anything to do with you. If you think it might, maybe take a moment to consider your own behavior and send them well wishes. Pray for them, however way in which that you do that. Send them well wishes, send them good vibes, so that you can then take a moment to address the situation, but you don't have to sit with it all day. You can address it personally, send them well wishes, send them prayers for a better day, review your own behavior, and then move on. Move forward. So thank goodness for Fabulously Free Coaching Friday. I wanted to be able to address this with you in that, over the course of the week at work, or maybe over the course of the weekend that you are about to get into, you're going to encounter some difficult people. When you go out into the world, when you're not in your comfortable, safe space environments, and you are interacting with the people of the world, sometimes you are going to interact with those who may be having a really bad day, but it might not be about you. So there's that. So let's continue to pursue our own progress with grace, with being kind to those around us, being considerate, yielding when we should, not feeling bad about when we don't, even if it puts the cherry on the top of someone else's really horrible day. If we know we didn't cause that anger or that built-up frustration, it's not something you need to carry with you all day. If you are the source of that frustration, maybe sit with yourself for a little bit and find the source of your own frustration. I think in the end, this calls for personal self-reflection and meditation time. So with that, I'm going to say, have a fantastically fabulous Friday. This is Vigil, your Women's Empowerment Business Coach. working with women on their professional development, on their business development, and all around, let's just become better people, right? Let's talk about the things that drive us a little crazy and, give grace to our lives so that we are not, going crazy by people's nonsense. And if we encounter those with some crazy nonsense happening, let's send them good vibes. Let's send them good wishes, because we will encounter that. So with that, have a fantastically fabulous Friday. I look forward to seeing you all again next Friday. Please comment and say hello if you jump on. And if I miss you, then say that you're catching the replay, and let me know your thoughts. Let me know your thoughts on this discussion for today and what you would like to hear me talk about for our next fabulously free Coaching Friday with Miss Vihil Vigil, Women's Empowerment Coach. Hugs and love to you all.